Hello, I'm Ryan Mulholland, and welcome to Talk of the Town, the show where we talk to your government leaders in the town of North Hempstead. Today, we are pleased to be joined by the town councilwoman from North Hempstead's 1st Council District, Viviana Russell. Viviana, thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome.
All
Pleasure
right.
to be here.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about your career in public service. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about yourself and tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, I moved to Westbury in 1999, and at the time I was working in the city, and I started getting involved here in the community by going to some meetings, going to community development agency meetings, going to some of the meetings that the town council person was having at the time, and I met a woman by the name of Mildred Little, who kind of introduced me to public service and said as a young family in the community, we needed to be more involved in what was going on. So we started attending meetings, and from there I started working with an organization called Unified Newcastle Community Revitalization Corporation as a consultant working with the residents over at Magnolia Gardens Senior Facility and advocating on their behalf. From there, I started working with Assemblyman Chuck Levine as his constituent liaison. And simultaneously, I worked for the town of North Hempstead in a 311 call center from its inception. And then after that, I started working with the organization named the National Association of Mother Centers, where I'm still currently working part-time as a communications and administration manager there.
Wow, sounds like that's quite a story.
Yes.
Very interesting. So you're the councilwoman for the 1st Council District. How long have you been councilwoman for?
I'm in my 5th year now.
So let's talk about some of the latest news going on in your district. I know a major initiative of yourself and Supervisor Bosworth is combating illegal housing. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that and why that's important to the residents of District 1.
Yes, so illegal housing, it really destroys a community. In speaking with some of the residents and stakeholders in the community, there were a lot of questions that came up, and one of the questions was that what is illegal housing? What constitutes illegal housing? So Supervisor Bosworth and myself, we came up with a guide that we sent out to the entire community just to let people know what the distinctions are between conversions and illegal housing so people can get a clearer understanding of what it actually is, and so that renters as well as landlords will know how they fall into the guidelines of the town of North Hempstead's code. Illegal housing really puts a strain on our resources, and in fact, recently Supervisor Bosworth and myself met with the village mayor, Mayor Cavallaro, and the Westbury School District Administration and board members to talk about how we can work together as a united front to combat this illegal housing issue, because it drains the resources both here in the unincorporated areas as well as in the village, and most certainly on our school district. So we are working together to combat this issue, and the most important part about illegal housing and the quality of life issues is the safety. We want to make sure that our residents in the town of North Hempstead stay safe and that their quality of life is not in jeopardy.
And I know that there's a committee in place, the Overlay District Committee.
Yes.
Maybe you talk about who's on that committee and what the goal is.
So the Overlay District was formed out of a recent hearing that we had to discuss things here in the Newcastle community with regards to what is allowed in a home and what's not allowed in a home that's different from other parts of the town. So a committee was formed to take a look at the Overlay District and to see whether or not it's something that we should keep in place or something that we should rescind totally. So they have come up with some recommendations as to what they believe the town should do to help deal with this issue that we have here in the community. And it's been a great process. We have residents of the community, we have a member of the school district, someone from the community development agency, we have homeowners, we have a renter, we have a landlord that lives outside of the community but who is very interested in making sure that this community thrives. So we have a great mix of people that are on this committee, and they're working really hard to come up with a solution for this community.
Wow, that sounds like a great initiative.
It is. It's great working with them.
Moving along to the 5-year capital plan. I know that's something that was approved unanimously by the town board earlier this year, and there were a number of projects in there for the 1st Council District. Maybe you can kind of fill us in on what's going on there.
So in Carl Place, we're going to be working on Fashilla Park and the 8th and Asbury Park, putting up some new fencing, working on some drainage work there. And then also, we're going to be meeting soon with Nassau County to work on some things along Westbury Avenue. And here in Westbury, at Bunkie Reed Park, we're going to be repurposing one of the buildings, putting in a bathroom. in one of the main buildings so that the constituents don't have to walk such a far distance across the park to go to the bathroom, as well as the paving within the park as well, and the pool deck, working on some of those items there.
Right, right. And Grand Boulevard, there's a paving project going on there as well?
Yes, Grand Boulevard. So Grand Boulevard was in really, really bad shape. And this year we were able to complete a resurfacing of Grand Boulevard. It's now a nice, smooth road to drive down. And we still have some more work to do on there. We're waiting for some funding from the state to come through to actually do an in-depth reconstruction of the roadway, but for right now we've done a resurfacing and it looks absolutely wonderful.
Right, right. I know that was a very important project to a lot of people.
Yes.
So the Yes We Can Community Center, that's where we're filming here today. That's where we
Yes.
have our beautiful TV studio. It's about 2 years old now, I believe.
Yes,
2
we
years
just hit a
old.
2-year mark.
Maybe you can tell me a little bit about some of the programs here and every day some of the things that are offered for residents at Yes We Can.
So this community center came out of a visioning process. I'm just going to take you back a little bit. It came out of a visioning process that happened over a decade ago. And some of the things that the community talked about that they wanted was a community center. And during that visioning process, we went to the schools. When I say we, the town, Councilman Troiano at the time and Supervisor Kamen went to the schools and asked the schools to come up with a design for the building. And there was a 5th grade class at Drexel Avenue School who won the contest. And the model that they built was called Imagination, and some of the features of that model were rain barrels and a outside garden and solar panels. And so initially the thought for this building was to build a nice, beautiful facility, but the thought to make it a green building actually came from the inspiration from those kids in that 5th grade class at Drexel Avenue School. Right. So fast forward 10 plus years, we now have a state-of-the-art 60,000 square foot Platinum LEED certified building. It's one of the most environmentally friendly buildings in New York State. And we have two NBA-sized basketball courts. We have a dance studio. We have meeting rooms. We have this wonderful studio here. And with regards to programming, this is the home for Project Independence, which is our senior program throughout the town of North Hempstead. So for this region, the program is hosted here, right here in the Yes We Can Community Center. And we have an intergenerational program where the seniors work with the children who come and participate in the after-school program here. So in the after-school program, they get homework help and enrichment, as well as they learn things like how to play bridge, how to play chess, and then there's a recreation component to it as well. And then we also have dance programs, we have Zumba, we have karate, ballet. So we have a number of different programs. Yeah. And then we also, during the recess, when school is out, we provide a program for the members of the community center free of charge. So during the break that's coming up, the holiday break that's coming up, the kids will be able to come here during the holiday break and enjoy some recreation.
Right. And what about during the summer? I know there's some summer programs as well. I know it's a little while away, but people always are thinking about, what to do with their children for the summer.
Yes, so this past summer we had a wonderful program here. We had a lot of children that were able to participate in the program, and it was great. They put on a show at the end. They learned all different types of skills, both indoor and outdoor. We use the facility here at Yes We Can, as well as Bunkie Reed Park across the street, and it's a program that's open to everyone in the town.
Right. So if you wanted to find out more about that program or signing up for any Yes We Can programs, then what would you do?
Just call 311. You can call 311 from anywhere within the town. If you're outside of the town limits, you can call 516-869-6311.
So you mentioned earlier the community visioning process in
Yes.
Newcastle and how Yes We Can resulted out of that. I know there were a lot of other projects that resulted from that visioning process and the revitalization initiative. So maybe you can talk a little bit about some of those projects and that have come to fruition.
Yes, so during the visioning process, which was a 5-day charrette with the stakeholders in the community, residents, the town of North Hempstead, Sustainable Long Island, and UNCCRC, out of those meetings came the community's wants and needs. So there was a need for Prospect Avenue to be narrowed to calm the traffic. There was a need for a supermarket. This community never had a supermarket of its own. And there was a need for affordable housing. There's a lack of affordable housing across Long Island, and the town embarked on providing affordable housing right here in the Newcastle community, and it's been great. And we have yet to come more affordable senior housing. The town always has programs for seniors, and one of the things that you hear a lot from the seniors are, I can't afford to live in my home anymore. I need to downsize, but there's no affordable housing. So we listened, and now we're embarking on an affordable senior housing project with the North Hempstead Housing Authority right here in Newcastle.
Right, terrific. And I don't know if you mentioned the supermarket as well. It's another big key initiative.
Yes.
That had opened, I think, last year?
Yes, the supermarket that opened up last year is doing great. I shop there very often.
Nice.
I don't have to go far now. I can just walk
Perfect.
down the block or drive a little short ways down Prospect Avenue. And it's a great supermarket. It has a very large variety, and it's great.
Terrific. Some of the other things I've noticed along Prospect Avenue and even here at Yes We Can is the proliferation of arts.
Yes.
Some of the sculptures that I've seen and galleries here at Yes We Can. Why do you think that's important, really, in this community or really in any community?
Art, I believe, is like the fabric of a community. It's the one common thing that always brings people together, and it's a factor in economic development. Where you see art, you see economic development. So a few years ago, we embarked on the Arts Build Newcastle project here in Newcastle, and it started out with some artwork along Prospect Avenue. There's a bus stop where there's actually people. Mannequins of people are actually part of the bus stop. We had some figures in the Gateway Park that are now going to be moved over here to the Yes We Can Community Center, and then also at Swan Park. The artist Bob Carter, who was we consulted with to do this project, he just finished working on a fountain along with some students from the Westbury High School and some residents from the community. And it's a beautiful fountain. It's a mosaic project, and it's very hands-on, and it involved the community. So out of that, you get to see the talent of the community as well as how arts can really bring people together. And then during the holiday season, you'll see, not just here in Westbury, but also in Carl Place, you'll see the window fronts dressed with artwork from the local community.
Oh, very cool.
So along Prospect Avenue and along Westbury Avenue, you will see the window fronts dressed with holiday cheer.
Right. You mentioned Swan Park earlier. I remember earlier this year we were over there for a Arbor Day
Yes.
celebration. We received a grant. I think it was from TD Bank,
Yes.
for some trees or to add to the tree canopy. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about, that program and why, trees are important in the community.
So that grant from TD Bank was great. We started out and we worked with the Park Avenue School here in Westbury, and we did a couple of tree plantings over at Swan Park, and then we continued that with the medians along Prospect Avenue, as well as some other tree plantings throughout the community. And then on top of that, we had a forum over 2 days on how to care for trees. Why are trees important? What do they add to a community? And it was a great turnout, and people were able to learn not just about how to take care of the trees on their own property, but trees throughout the community, what they need, what they don't need, how we can help be better stewards of what we have here in the community.
Right. Well, there's certainly a lot going on here in
Yes.
in Council District 1. I think I'll wrap up with one final question. So what is your favorite thing about public service? I mean, you've been involved for over 5 years now in North Hempstead and all the other positions that you referenced. What's your favorite thing about it?
It's hard to say what my favorite thing is. I grew up in a household where my parents were givers, whether they were volunteering at my school, helping out a neighbor, even helping out strangers, visiting the hospitals. So I was born into a family of givers, and it just comes naturally just to be a giver. I would have to say the most rewarding part, or my favorite part about public service, is knowing that I'm able to help someone else. Taking myself out of the picture and knowing that the purpose that I'm serving is for someone else.
Right. That's a great answer. Thank you so much for being here today. We learned a lot. I hope the viewers and the district residents in Council District 1 learned a lot as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So thank you for watching Talk of the Town. As always, to find out more about your local elected officials or what is going on around town, log on to the town's official Facebook and Twitter pages. So see you again next time as we talk to another one of your government leaders in the town of North Hempstead. Have a great day.